and just talk about the type of buyers in the marketplace. Number one, I know for a fact there are a lot of people in this country that are concerned that the value of the dollar is going to just be destroyed, and they're buying gold and also inflation protected U.S. Treasury securities. There's another way to protect yourself against inflation, real estate and tips. If you're not familiar with those, it's a great alternative to speculating in gold. Are there people buying land or kicking tires in the land market, not buying necessarily, looking and saying things like, I'm interested in buying land because I want to protect myself from inflation? Is that evident in the land market at all or not yet?
Well, after listening to the apartment guys and the industrial and the office guys, and the retail guys, Brad indicated no dirt's going to change hands. I may take a couple of years off, but there are people in the marketplace, but it's certainly not very deep. And primarily, people are waiting for prices to reset, like we've talked about all day today. There are small users in the market, and there were some big users in the market, but they pretty much put everything on the shelf as well. But there are small users still.
You got to keep straight ahead there. Those people in the back, they just went, dang, there was $10,000 worth of information, and I didn't hear it because he was being polite to talk to me. So say that again.
Plenty of seats up here.
Yeah. Say that again. What you were talking about? There's a few buyers.
There's a few buyers, but most of them are confined to small user. We just sold property to a small user out on I-10 that was a redevelopment play, but he's going to use it as a warehouse. I mean, it's right on the freeway. So these are the kind of things. And I was talking to some of my friends in the brokerage business, and they're seeing some investors come in. Maybe they would have paid $6 2 years ago. Maybe they're not paying that today.
Okay. All right. Ed, you want to comment on that?
Well, I'd just like to say that the overall land market is dramatically slowed down. There are two basic buyers of land. There's investors and there are users. Primarily the user market is pretty well dried up. Users will build something on the land. With lack of construction financing available right now, it's virtually impossible to do anything if you're a user trying to build something. Some corporate or national type firms might be able to get financing if it's a facility that's sort of a national operation, but very few of those transactions are going down. Dennis, where's that buyer that you had for my land on Olding Westfield? What happened to him?
He was a user, and he's still looking.
He's still looking. Well, anyway, so you have users and you have investors. Well, the investors are pretty well hunkered down, and as everybody's been talking about today, there's a huge spread between the bid and the ask prices. Most of the land is in pretty strong hands, so there's a reluctance to reprice or reset your land prices. Land historically has been a longer term type play, a longer term type hold. So the owners are just saying, well, I'll just hold on to it till the market comes back. There are a few opportunities out there for some owners that are in a little bit of a squeeze that need to sell now, but there's still a spread between the bid and the ask prices. And the investors, are really looking to steal stuff right now, and the landowners really aren't quite ready to do that right now. I do know of one situation, great tract of land on Loretta, 15 acres. You can pick it up for $2 1/4.
Time out.
Give me a call.
That's my job, censor commercial.
Anyway,
go ahead. I get a 5% fee if you sell it.
That's fine.
I can't be bought off. Okay.
Well, let me clarify something. When I talk about users, I'm talking about somebody who's going to use the land themselves. I'm not talking about a developer who's going to develop something for some other user to use it themselves. There's the development market has virtually stopped.
Okay, let's talk about that for a little bit, because home building, new construction, new starts has dropped dramatically in the last couple of years. And in my opinion, it's going to bottom out this year. I'd bet $1 that home starts in this town will be higher in 2010 than they are in 2009. Simply because builders have cut back as much as they can, and now their bankers are going to force them to cut back the rest of the way. And I think it's going to pick up next year. What has been the impact on the land markets in Houston of this dramatic drop in demand from home builders? Has there been a change of hands of land from somebody to somebody else? Has there been a change in pricing in that land?
Well, there will be, and certainly lots have been traded. The national home builders are completely out of the market. And let me address the question first about the starts going down. David Jarvis at Metro says that the houses that are on the ground right now will be absorbed. Most of that will be absorbed. So going forward, you won't have that inventory. The giveaways will stop, and so you have next year will be much more solid and probably, I would guess, 20% higher in starts. Sales about paced starts for something like 8 quarters now.
So they're picking up that inventory. So you're anticipating that demand from home builders is likely to pick up because the inventory is in pretty good.
Well, but on the other hand, they have 72,000 vacant developed lots, of which about 20,000 are in subdivisions that are not moving a lot of houses. So there's 50 or so, and if you do 25,000 a year, that's 2 years worth of vacant developed lot supply, which is relatively low.
Do you want to comment at all, Ed, on the home builder side of it?
Certainly. That's one of the things that I do spend a lot of time working on. The builders are working their inventory off pretty well, and it's getting in line with the equilibrium, as has been pointed out. Primarily, Metro study guys made an interesting observation. They said that even if demand was greater than say 22 or 23,000 homes this year. Let's say that there was a market for 25 or 26,000 homes. There isn't enough construction financing available to build those homes. So the lack of the lenders stepping forward, no lenders are doing any lending for spec homes right now. They pretty well pulled the plug on any spec home lending. So most everything that's getting built right now are build jobs. People that come in and say, build me a home, and then they build it. So there's a lack of inventory that's being drawn down because they're selling it and they're not replacing it because the lenders won't loan the money to do it. And that's a kind of an interesting point. I do happen to have some spec inventory in my home, in my project. So that actually gives me a competitive advantage in some ways to some of my competitors within the inner loop where they don't have existing inventory. So if you're a relo or somebody coming into the market, need a home right now, and you want a new home, your options actually are a lot less than they used to be. You're going to have to wait 3 or 4 or 5 months to get that home built for you. So if you're a builder and you actually do have some spec inventory, believe it or not, it can actually help boost your sales. But very few builders have that luxury of being allowed to do any spec homes right now.
And that's what I'm understanding too, not only here, but in Houston and Austin, or excuse me, Dallas and Austin as well, is the supply of homes available for sale, new supply, is in pretty good balance. It might be a little bit high, but not extraordinarily high. And that's why I think